Okay, everybody. Shalom. Hope everybody's having a Tawab Monday. Shout out, Kawakab teaching in Guatemala. He has his camp, LA Judah. Shalom, isbhpk Houston, Rochester, New York, Norfolk, Virginia. Hope everybody's doing well out there. And it's going to be good to see the Houston camp come out and visit us during Hanukkah, which is coming up soon. So can't wait to see everybody then. Promise nobody has to barbecue, man. We're just going to all chill as brothers. That'll be a good time also. That we get physical examples in the scriptures. We get stories. We get what they're going through if they know that they've done everything the right way. So that this is not like a punishment from the Most High. This is a test. Or this is something to develop your spirit. What I'm saying is going to have more clarity as we finish the end of Romans chapter 14. But we understand in St. John 16 and 33 that peace comes from following Christ's method. Peace comes from doing things the way Christ would want us to do. So a man or woman can have peace and still be in pain. You can have peace but still be troubled a little bit inside. So understand that doing everything you can is your defense, and it's the key to having prolonged peace of mind in whatever circumstance that you're suffering or going through. Okay? Let this go and go back to Romans chapter 14 and verse 19.
Romans chapter 14, verse 19. Let us therefore follow after the things which make for peace.
We're supposed to follow after the process, the thinking pattern, the approach, the spiritual approach that brings about peace of mind. This is the key in every experience that we're going through. Can you find peace of mind while you are going through your pains and your stresses and your difficulties? From experience, if you're going to go through difficulties, the only thing you have to hold on to is that I was operating spiritually. I was operating blameless. I did the best I could in the situation that I was placed in. And I'm suffering. I'm going through loss. I've experienced loss. That's the peace of mind. Because you sit back here, like we talked about earlier, when you're in that middle stage of anguish and stressing out and why am I going through the things I'm going through? Why did I lose what I'm going through? There's a lot of reflection, right? Uh-huh. All you can do in the midst of reflection is really go back into your intentions. What were my intentions? What was my reason for doing the things that I was doing? Were my intentions pure? Was my justifications pure? Was my fight pure? Was my mentality pure?
Was my reasoning correct?
Was my reasoning correct and pure of intention? Because there's always going to be mistakes in the middle. Was my reasoning pure? And if it is, and if your reasoning was that like Christ, then I can have peace of mind in my loss.
The goal is to be justified.
That's what St. John 16 and 33 was talking about. Is being justified in Christ's approach. So while I'm losing things and I'm suffering, can I be at peace knowing that I did my best in Christ's eyes to be blameless? This is why we always tell men that are husbands, fight to be a good example. Fight to be blameless. So whatever happens, whatever a person decides to do in the marriage, if a sister splits, then you know what you did. You did everything you could to be in order. You did everything you could to be blameless. And so now there's peace of mind that comes from that. While I am dealing with pain, while I'm dealing with loss, while I'm dealing with the sufferings that come from this change in my life and this waiting period from one situation to another transition in my life. Now, let's go back Romans 14 again.
Romans chapter 14, verse 19. Let us therefore follow after the things which make for peace. And the things...
Stop. So we're supposed to be following the things, and we're on the second part of the topic, or the verse. We're supposed to follow after the things that make peace, and follow after the things what?
And the things wherewith...
Took us off one way that we normally stream. How are we looking? Nope, now it says it's unstable.
It's unstable, yeah. It'll
Great.
And then stop.
Be patient, y'all. It's gonna work out. Chatan wants to come in and throw monkey wrenches and things. Yeah, everybody's coming off and giving up. Don't give up, people on TV land. It will get fixed. Everybody say, I quit. I will watch the replay. Don't give up on TV land, y'all. It will be better. But I know it sucks when it's like, most high.
That sucks.
That sucks.
That sucks, bro.
It's cool. We're just gonna run anyway, bro. Hey, man. The word's gonna go out, man. It's not gonna go void. It is be void online. The word will be void online, not in class. There's enough people to get energy from. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks. We got listen. We switched companies, right? We went from Spectrum to who?
It doesn't matter.
T-Mobile. They're better.
The internet's the internet. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's keep going.
All right. So we're talking about edifice, edifying, building, moral, decision situations.
And we're explaining the Most High is trying to teach us to follow the path that takes you to edification. Follow the thinking.
And these are steps you have to go to because you're going to have to lead other people through the same circumstances because other men will be in your same slot.
Yes, listen, that is definitely a part. But I want to at least initially explain the importance of learning how to look at your situation that you're in a spiritual light.
Okay.
Too many of us want to look at what we're going through and they want to relate it to something carnal. And they want to sit back and focus on what I'm physically going through and the pains that I'm suffering just for whatever reason it is. If you want to bring about peace in your mind and learn how to start having more faith towards the Most High, we have to practice looking at everything we're going through as, what is the Most High edifying me about in me? What is He showing me about myself in this circumstance? Okay? That is the number one thing we have to start wrapping our mind around. So read verse 19 again. Romans chapter 14, verse 19.
Romans chapter 14, verse 19.
You're right, but I just want to focus on this part.
I guess you're right. Slow down.
Read on.
Let us therefore follow after the things which make for peace.
So this verse is talking about what we should be giving our mind to. So we got to find the mindset and the mentality that brings about peace of mind. We read in St. John 16 and 33 that following Christ's method brings peace of mind. Read on.
And things wherewith one may edify another.
And we're supposed to sit back here and follow or pursue things in our life that will bring about some type of moral or spiritual understanding. What does this mean? This means I have to start looking at the things that go on in my life the right way. And it also means I have to start choosing paths in my life and directions that are meant to build. We choose paths that benefit the what? The flesh. We choose paths and decisions that benefit the flesh, that self-soothe the flesh, versus choosing decisions and life paths that benefit building the spirit and our moral code. This is what Christ is teaching us if we want to get closer to Him. We're going to let this verse go and go to 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and 23. And just a favor, y'all, just periodically online, every 5, 10, maybe 15 minutes for a little bit, let us know if the lag is continuing. Just down the line, maybe like 10, 15 more minutes. And we appreciate it. We just want to kind of get a feel of what's going on with this stinking internet. Where are we at? 1 Corinthians chapter 10.
Verse 23.
And let me get it real quick. My apologies. Alright, what do we get?
1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 23. All things are lawful for me, but all things are not expedient.
Is that Yeah, read on.
All things are lawful for me, but all things edify not.
So he says, all things are lawful for me, but all things aren't the best thing to give your spirit to, especially in regards to being an example to our people. So I might have the ability to do all things, but that doesn't mean that me doing those things are beneficial to other people And then the second part of verse 23 is all things are lawful for me, but all things.
Verse.
Damn,
But we've had enough Netflix, we had enough internet, and enough whatever the hell's going on in this world, comic books, wherever your fable world is at. We look for distractions from our problems, and we're hoping to get a little bit of inspiration. It's like the people go on Facebook. They never look for scriptures. They look for like memes to make them feel good about their life. Did you see that meme last week? The flower, it bloomed when the sun came out.
I just hate when they have these bullshit actors on there, and then they have these quotes from these bullshit actors. Like,
Will Smith
you
knows
know
everything.
damn well Will Smith didn't say this.
Will Smith always has the answers.
Will Smith is getting controlled by his broad. He don't have all the answers. I promise you.
Yeah.
Listen, he's fighting Tupac's shadow. That's what he's fighting.
And you know, he should have just got the hell out of there the first time she said she wanted Tupac.
Listen,
The first time she said she wanted Tupac, well, the nigga go on the grave and get that nigga.
Go on
and I'm
the
gonna find one of these
Dig him up.
groupies who love me. It's that simple, G.
Go deal with DMX.
It's not that deep. It's not that deep.
Yeah.
Find another nigga that has like the red bandana and the whole vibe, the bald head. Go find another bald head bandana guy with the black leather vest. Find another guy like that. That's not me, bro.
Listen, bro.
Anyway, let me stop.
But listen,
that was my that came from me. That came from a deep dark place.
The reason why is people are looking for the myth in their life.
Oh, here's another one. So now everything regarding people's mindset is my truth. I'm going to speak my truth. I'm going to do things in my truth.
That my truth thing is a big thing. Yeah.
It basically means I can't handle the truth,
Yeah.
so I have to live in my truth
Yeah.
so I can feel better.
A lot of people operate in that system.
My
a
truth
lot.
is my delusion.
It's my lie.
Exactly.
And my lie. That's really it.
I'm gonna speak my lie. I'm gonna keep it real, y'all. I'm gonna speak my lie.
Yeah.
And what my lie tells me
That's
is
the true answer. That's the real answer.
Yes.
Not my truth.
My
lie.
truth? Wow. Because your truth is a one-sided garbage story.
You're always right.
Yeah. You're always a hero in your story.
Always the hero.
You're always a hero. You were the victim, and you rose above the hate. You rose above the negativity, and you're gonna be a better person because of it. Anyway,
And no one's gonna hold you back, and everybody's just trying to hold you back, and everybody's jealous of you, and everybody hates you, and they mad at you.
yep.
That's what people want to feel. People want to feel. People hate on me. No. How about you're?
I'm gonna start harder.
You're
'cause they
rubbing
hate me.
people the wrong way everywhere you go.
Or you're just a bad person.
People aren't jealous of you. You're rubbing people the wrong way on a constant basis. But the narrative I tell myself, everybody's hating on me. That's my truth. Cool. Listen, that's not edification. That's not a scriptural understanding. So you're gonna need to really have solutions in your life.
Huh? So let's go because it's 8:30 already, man. Time is flying.
Yeah, I got you.
1 Timothy 1:4.
1 Timothy chapter 1 and verse 4 reads, neither give heed to fables and endless
So
genealogies.
neither giving heed to my truth and all these concepts, because that's what a fable is.
Yeah.
And listen, genealogies, when a person's on genealogies, they're not trying to get any deeper than just who they are as a person. You know how many Israelites just want to keep it real about their tribe? And they want to talk about Hebrew. They want to talk Hebrew online. They want to keep it about knowledge and not deal with yourself
Just
at
the
all.
zodiac. It's
Zodiacs
be stuck in the
and
zodiac.
Hebrew language infringes on, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's what they keep it at. You know what he says? So he says, neither give heed to fables and endless genealogies. Read on.
Which minister questions.
And always says stop keep people in that circle
Keep you ignorant.
of no growth and ignorance. But read on.
Which minister questions rather than godly edifying, which is in
And you
faith.
see how Romans 14 and 19. Then we jumped to 1 Corinthians 10:23 and 1 Timothy 1 and 4 kind of connects. I'm recapping for those of us who we got cut off online. The recap is that godly edifying is through faith. But we read earlier in Romans 14 and 9 that we have to choose to look through the lens of life, looking for opportunities to be edified through faith, to be edified and spiritually growing. And the Most High here is saying, and while you're pursuing this godly edification, this is how the Most High teaches you faith. So once again, if you understand that while you're losing something or you stand the risk of losing something, it hurts, it's painful, it's sorrowful, you also have to understand the fact that this is how the Most High teaches you how to get closer to Him. If you didn't go through traumatic, difficult, uncomfortable situations, if you didn't have to experience loss, how else would you be able to understand the Most High? How else would you be able to understand the Most High unless you were put in difficult situations, not knowing how it was going to work out? And then the Most High comes through for you and gives you understanding and solves the issue. How else will we know the Most High is real? This is why throughout the scriptures He's preparing us to let us know, hey, this edifying is how you're supposed to be gauging and building your mind towards. I have to start looking to follow the paths that edify me spiritually. And the more I start to learn how to follow these edifying paths, then I'll start realizing this is how the Most High teaches me. This is how He teaches me faith, through accepting these experiences that are so difficult. And this is where the peace of mind comes in. It's accepting that when you're going through these things, Christ is trying to build your faith up. And it's not just my whole world is turned completely upside down and my life is in crumbles and in shambles right now. Because that's how we want to tell ourselves our life is when we're going through difficult situations. Your life is not in shambles. The Most High is teaching you faith. So either I can look at my life as my life is flipped upside down and my life sucks, or I have to choose that the Most High is teaching me faith in my life. There's a reason when you're reading Deuteronomy chapter 31 and 15, if I'm not mistaken, that's the verse. Deuteronomy 31.
Deuteronomy 31 verse 15.
No, shoot. Maybe it's 30 and 15. Yes, it's 30 and 15. It's lucky.
Okay, lock it up.
Mm-hmm.
Deuteronomy 30 verse 15.
Read it.
See, I have set before thee this day life and death. Slack it. Life and good, and death and evil.
So, life is about choosing what direction you're going to take. Good, it says good and life is choosing a life that's about spiritually edifying you. Death and evil is choosing a life to look at life through a carnal, physical lens. So we have to choose life and good, which means we have to choose godly edification. And if we choose to look at life through that lens, we can find spiritual edification. Because if not, we're going to walk through our life angry and sorrowful and say the Most High is not equal. Like so many of our people go through. The Most High is not equal. He's not fair. Why am I in the circumstance I'm in? Why am I losing so much? Why am I suffering so much?
And why hasn't it gotten better?
Why hasn't it gotten better? It hasn't gotten better because you've chosen not to look at it in the right spiritual lens.
And I didn't make the decision to make choices based on substance.
Edification. Edification is the word. I have to look at everything I'm going through and choose to make decisions based off my spiritual growth. Listen, when you're in your marriage, you have to sit back here and decide if I'm going to deal with this sister or this brother based on spiritual reasons or carnal reasons. What's your reason for doing it? Why are you making a stand and putting your foot down? It's because I'm just angry and I don't have no patience? Or am I putting my foot down for righteousness' sake? Which one is it? Based off why you're doing what you're doing will determine where your peace of mind is after you get the blowback from this situation. Is that making sense? Am I making sense? Or am I talking like Pythagorean theorem or something like that? Am I making any kind of sense?
Not that complicated.
Yeah.
A squared plus B squared equals C squared. You dig? I'm just trying to make sure. I'm just trying to make sure I'm clear.
Yeah, I was going to say this. The outcome of your situation is people have to have a reason why they do things.
Kinda.
Listen, when they go to Iraq, they got to do it for something. They do it for some freedom. Somebody got to get free. Somebody has to get free, guy. Somebody's got to
Iraqis surely had to get no freedom.
Somebody got to be free.
They lost $1 million. They lost a cool $1 million.
Listen,
Easy.
We're going to sit here and free somebody. You got to tell a whole bunch of people to leave their family, their kids, and their ribs.
That's why they call it Operation Iraqi
we
Freedom.
got some people to help out there. got some oil to get me some people to help. Right?
That's exactly what it is.
So they have to create a reason to deal with this battle. So people can sit here and be out there in the hot sun dealing with those big spiders. They have those
those jumping spiders. Yeah.
Desert spiders in the sun all day.
Those desert spiders are scary as hell.
They're real camel spiders, right?
Yeah.
They're out there. If you're just doing this for
the giants are.
Huh?
The giants are out there too.
Look, I can't even go into that today, bro.
Yeah.
I can't do that today, sir. No edification today, bro. Wrong edification, huh?
Edify, not mystify.
The Giants want the oil too, right?
Keep going, that.
But so we're dealing with people need a reason why they're doing what they do. We need a reason to be out here and be uncomfortable. The question is, when you're uncomfortable,
aren't we supposed to be Bible students?
Yes.
Aren't we supposed to be spiritual people?
Yeah.
Right? Then we have to start learning how to look at things from a spiritual lens. When the scripture says, come out the world, what the hell does that mean? Just change clothes? I'm changing clothes. Now I'm spiritual.
Yeah.
I got strings on all my shirts.
Yeah.
Now I'm with the Most High.
Yeah.
That's how people operate.
Yeah.
But the reality is, I have to change my lens. I have to choose to look at all of my circumstances. What is the Most High teaching me? What is the spiritual lesson He's teaching me? Do I accept that what I'm losing and going through, if I was on point and doing the right thing, the Most High was teaching me faith? He is teaching me faith through this situation. So, like I mentioned in the beginning of class, all the ups and downs and the emotions and the roller coasters, the anger, the sadness, the why me, the guilt, all those feelings are still coming. And those emotions and those mood swings feel like it switches by the hour.
That's necessary.
Right or wrong?
Yeah.
I'm good. It's going to be okay. I'm going to get through this better. I don't know why I get that bad. I just catching so much hell. It's like 30 minutes later. Like, what the hell just happened? I know. Okay, I'm going to read these scriptures.
Get together,
I'm going to read John 3:16. And you want to read all these Bible verses. You start crying again. And you want to go to the club. You don't want to drink alcohol. Then you want to sleep. Then you want to cry again.
You call God out.
Yeah. You go through a myriad of emotions. But as you're going through them, and you're studying, and you're reading, you can't lose track of what this is and what you're going through. The Most High is trying to teach me faith. So when you go through those cycles, you got to find a way to get recentered to the why. If you get recentered to your why, then you can withstand the blows a lot better. You can maintain peace of mind for longer stretches of time. That's what we're trying to accomplish, because like we initially established class about, was about what? How well you can wait until the Most High comes through and gives you the understanding to your battle. How well can you wait? How positive can you maintain your spirit when something that was here today is gone tomorrow and you don't know when it's going to come back? Or the threat of losing something is imminent and you don't know how to handle it. Yes, sir?
And that's why, like how you're talking about, like that verse 15 says, life and death, are you going to continue to do what you're doing, or are you going to be moping around?
That's the point, but that's based off the lens you choose to see your life through. Do I look at my life as all these things that happen to me, I'm a good person, why am I catching this hell? Or I'm catching this hell even though I'm doing the right thing because the Most High is trying to pull something out of me and teach me something about myself. There is a moral and spiritual lesson waiting for me on the other side.
And all the great men and women of the Bible went through this. So why am I not supposed to go through this?
So once again, this, like I said in the beginning of class, this is another way of looking at faith. Yes, you're supposed to read Hebrews 11. Hebrews 11 is perfect about faith. You're supposed to read about Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, all that. You're supposed to read that. But I also have to sit back here. What's going to keep me grounded every day? I have to see that the Most High is putting me through the same things based off what I can handle. Then the Most High say, matter of fact,
Romans 12.
Measure of faith?
Yeah.
Yep.
2 as well. I was on there right now.
Give me the measure one.
Romans 12 and verse 3.
You took it right out of my mouth. Romans 12 and verse 3.
You want 2 too? Because that was right on your point. Renewing your mind.
Nah, not yet. Just do the
All right. Romans 12 and verse 3. For I say, through the grace given unto me, to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think.
Why is that? You better, because you go all crazy as hell, bro.
Because the scripture says, knowledge puffeth up.
Yeah.
And Moses says, listen, you get all the goddamn greatness in the world. You better keep yourself grounded.
Right.
You better sit back here and be humble. Because any y'all can break. Any y'alls can break.
Yeah.
Right.
Just because you got a bunch of verses in your brain don't mean you can use them at the right times.
Yeah.
Because when you want to act like a maniac, you pulling verses. When you're getting emotional and you want to be emo out here, or you pulling verses during emo town,
No.
then what good is the verses then? What good is all the breakdowns if you don't use them when you need them? That's the point, right? So he says, let's not get caught up into your knowledge and how much you know, because the Most High knows how to peg each and every one of us down to size. Read on.
But to think soberly, according as the Most High hath dealt to every man.
This is that edification.
Con.
Sober. Being about the resolution.
Con.
Not being pulled by the external circumstance.
And sober is I understand what I'm doing and why I'm going through it. And I choose to see my battle as a spiritual battle versus, you know what, when Moses said choose ye life and, he said life and what? No.
Life and good.
It's life and good, death and what?
Evil.
You know what death and evil is? I'm the victim. You know how many times we want to play the victim card? The woe is me card? I'm a good person that's gone through bad things. No, you've gone through exactly what your spirit deserved. Can you accept that? A lot of us can't get to that. If I'm soberly minded, I also understand that I'm where I'm at because the Most High wants me there. And can I accept I am right where I'm supposed to be in my spirit with the wife, with the husband, with the janky situation I might be in? I'm where I'm supposed to be. And the Most High is trying to get me to see something about myself in this situation. If I'm going to grow. Or am I going to sit back and keep pulling victim cards and sadness cards and angry cards because of what I don't want to go through?
Because, Samson didn't learn from his first experience. He had that one woman he dealt with in the book where he ended up burning everybody's field down.
He's crazy.
Listen, bro.
He was like that movie with Antonio Banderas. He's walking all slow, and then the back blows up, and it's all fire. There's explosions. He's walking through like this, like all those movies. That was what Samson. He's burning people's fields, killing human beings.
He's burning a year worth of crops. The whole village.
Philistine crops.
The whole village has to suffer.
Yes. And nobody went to fight him out.
Listen, nobody did fight him. Listen, bro.
Nobody fought this man.
The parents.
Like Devo.
She was supposed to be giving away.
He was Debo.
He was the real Debo.
He was the real. He was the original Debo.
What you gonna do?
He was Debo or that guy on YouTube named NGO that walks like this that kicks your burger and fries out because you broke your diet act. Let me see. If you get a chance, NGO, he's hilarious. Anyway, it was the walk that gets him. He's like this.
One time he had a piece of tape on one of his muscles on his back. It's
crazy, yeah. But keep going. What you gonna say?
I was saying, when you look at Samson's story,
man,
though that story was a foreshadowing of Delilah.
Yeah.
Because when he got to Delilah, he had the same extreme circumstances.
Yep.
Same extreme up and down scenarios, based around a woman, but he didn't learn the lesson necessary. He really didn't learn the lesson of it.
Yeah.
There was a lesson he had with the first woman he dealt with when he burned the crops down.
But his lens was completely carnal. The fact that he burned the crops down showed you his lens to the situation was earthly.
Remember, he had to burn crops and get foxes. Foxes had to suffer. He had to tear the fox's tail.
No, he did. Listen, because that's how he burnt the whole field.
Yeah.
He was setting foxes' tail. He was tying them together and setting them all on fire.
Yeah.
And as they're running, he was tying all their tails together and burning them. So as they're frantically trying to get away, they're burning their whole field down. Listen. Peter couldn't go at her out. They weren't going to go at him either. Right?
Yeah,
He was endangering animals, everything.
He was hurting animals. He was burning down crops. People were starving.
Yeah.
This is what he had to do to feel good and feel what do you call it, retribution or
Payback.
Feel that sense of I feel better about the wrong that was done to me.
Because I hurt people.
So I was hurt. I'm gonna sit here and go through and burn these crops down and hurt these animals and do what I have to do to get a sense of a completion. For that sense of closure. So it's the same thing for us. Do we need carnal closure, or we can't even find spiritual closure and learn faith?
Yep. But all of it is based on how you look, how you choose to look at your situation. I keep going back to that. You have to choose to see that I'm going through a spiritual lesson that the Most High wants me to go through so I can get closer to Him. I'm going to keep driving that point because that will help. It's not going to eliminate the pain, but it brings perspective to the pain and gives a cap to how much you're going to ball out and lose it. There's a lesson to what you're going through. You just haven't got to the end to see it. Okay? And we have to start learning to embrace these processes. Because if not, then we're going to be those guys that keep running from our issues and falling into those pits. See how everything's starting to tie in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Want to finish that?
Yeah, we'll finish that.
God. Romans 12 verse 3. But to think soberly, according as the Most High have dealt to every man the measure of faith.
Most High has given everybody a certain element or a certain amount of faith that they have to deal with. And we also know the Most High gives everybody a measure of faith, but He also wants what with that faith? Usury. So He wants us, He's given all of us a limit of what we can handle and what we can't handle. And with that, He's going to give us these opportunities to grow in our faith. And we have to look at these situations as opportunities to grow, not obstacles to run from. And if we can mature in that arena, there's a greater coping mechanism to that. Does that make sense? We're trying to show how to psychologically absorb loss. How to psychologically absorb in a spiritual form, how to deal with loss and difficulties without completely cracking under the pressure.
This is why there's AA, NA, all kind of different programs, a whole kind of programs, because these programs are trying to get people to look at things spiritual, and but in their worldly way.
Yep.
But we're getting straight from the Father. So we should be the most skillful people when it comes to solving.
If we choose to look at it the right way, let this go and go to Luke, chapter 18, and verse 8. Now listen, the topic is kind of branched off to a degree. No, let Yeshai do it. But the topic is somewhat branched off. Don't forget the title is about how the Most High works behind the scenes. We wanted to make sure that we explained, first things first, I have to choose to see that what I'm going through is an opportunity to be edified in Christ. Now we're here. Now we have to get to the next step. Is now we know we're in our battle. Now we know that what we're going through is a lesson from the Most High. Now while we're waiting, there has to be another mental way that we look at our situation to help bring us peace while we're waiting for the end answer or the solution.
Yeah.
Okay, we explained first going in how to cope, but now you still have to wait months, possibly years, to get the understanding of it. So while I'm learning that, or while I'm waiting on that, I have to have a better way of looking at the situation while I'm waiting. Y'all with me? Read that, Luke 18, verse 1 through 8.
Luke chapter 18, verse 1. And he spake a parable unto them this end.
To this end.
That men ought always to pray, and not to faint.
Exactly. So we're supposed to pray and not get discouraged in our prayer. So fainting is when you start getting tired of praying and not seeing the results that you're expecting.
Yeah, can I say one thing? And when we say pray, we're talking about the spiritual approach.
It's going to go into it.
Okay.
But it still is praying with the understanding, what am I praying for? Well, I'm supposed to be praying for the spiritual lesson. Right? Aren't we supposed to be going into this for the spiritual lesson? Or are we going into this for the carnal result? I got to go into this situation looking for the spiritual understanding to my battle.
This is why Solomon was great in his initial phases.
Initial, yeah.
His initial phases was, he said, listen, I said, give me whatever you want, I'm going to give it to you. He said, listen, just give me wisdom so I may rule your people properly. Because I don't know how to go in or go out. I'm feeble.
Because the only thing that matters is spiritual understanding.
Yeah.
And if you can get that, you'll get everything else. So the prayer is for the understanding. But let's keep going.
Verse 2, saying, this wasn't...
No, I need clarity.
There was
I need strength.
a city, a judge, which
Say it again.
not
No. See verse 2 again.
God. Saying, there was in a city a judge, which feared not the Most High, neither regarded man.
So there was this judge that was wicked, that didn't care about the people of the Most High. Read on.
And there was a widow in that city, and she came unto him, saying, avenge me of mine adversary.
So there was a widow that was asking for justice. Whatever her adversary was giving her problems and was wrong. Read on.
And he would not for a while, but afterward he said within himself.
He said he wouldn't for a while. He just kept saying no. And you know what she kept doing? She kept going back to the courthouse, bugging him, knocking on his door. Read on.
Though I fear not the Most High, no regard man, yet because this widow troubleth me, I will avenge her.
He said, man, I don't give a shit about the Most High. I don't care about this woman.
Because he's a wicked judge. Huh?
But what I'm going to do is, I'm going to deal with this damn problem because she's kicked me up every damn week. So I'm going to do it so I can have some peace of mind. I'm going to deal with judgment so that she stops coming to my office and sweating me and crying all damn day long. Right? Read on.
Lest by her continual coming she weary me.
That's my point. Listen, so this wicked judge is like, listen, I'm going to deal with judgment just because she's bothering the cuss out of me. Cool. I will defend you, ma'am. I'll send the police to the nigga's crib. It's going to happen tonight. How many squad cars you need, ma'am? 3? Okay, they're coming. Read on.
And the Lord said, hear what the unjust judge saith.
So Christ was like, listen to what the unjust judge ended up doing. He folded because he was tired of being nagged. Right? Read on.
And shall not the Most High avenge his own elect, which cry day and night unto him, though he bear long with them?
So listen, the Most High is like, if the unjust judge eventually backs the person who's begging for him, how much more the Most High? This is what I have to understand, that if I've been wronged, if I've been done wrong, if people are purposely hurting me, I have to trust the Most High will avenge me. Even if the unjust woman, the unjust leader ends up backing the widow, how much more the just man who was doing the right thing with the right intentions, following Christ's approach, how much more are they going to get defended? Too many times we want blood from what a person did to me. I want you crying and snotting in front of me because you hurt me. Don't we want that?
God.
We want the apology. We want the apology, bending knee, crying. I was a wicked person. I was going to say perro de la calle, but I'm not going to say it today. I was a perro de la calle. I was evil. I was wicked. Salakia. That's what we want. We want that sorry. You're not going to get it though. But I got to trust that because of my works and my intentions, the Most High will avenge me and defend me. Do we believe that when we're suffering?
No.
When you're in the middle of the dumps, do you believe the Most High is hearing your pain and understands your anguish?
Israel wants their own justice.
But now we're dealing with what faith is. On top of understanding that I'm supposed to go into endeavors, trusting that this was a process of learning and getting closer to the Most High. Upon accepting that process and learning how to follow lessons that bring about spiritual edification, I have to also understand that while I'm in the midst of the battle, looking at things that way, I have to trust that I'm going to be defended. Even though I might be losing up front. Because that's the reality. When you're sitting back here and suffering, I'm not going to sit back here and give you some Joel Osteen answers. everything's going to work out. You're not going to lose anything. Yeah, fake plastic smile. You're going to lose a lot. And in the midst of your, Most High is going to still defend you. And He's going to avenge you for what you've lost. Can just knowing it's going to happen be good enough for you? Can knowing that the Most High is going to avenge you, why isn't that sufficient? Why do we want more? Oh man, that's on yeah. That's not the. that wasn't the internet. That was feet on power cords. Anyway. So, do we understand what we're saying here? Okay. Are we done with that verse? Continue.
I tell you that He will avenge them speedily.
Yeah.
Nevertheless,
but you know what the Most High speedily?
His time.
It's His speedily. It ain't your speedily. Because when you see speedily, you think tomorrow. It's happening in the morning.
Any minute now.
It's morning, 6 a.m. No, it's the Most High's. A day to the Most High is 1,000 years. How about that one? How about them apples? How about them apples? Yes. You gotta keep things in perspective.
Oh my God.
So it's speedily on His 1,000-year scenario. It's gonna happen though. It's fitting to happen.
It's all about timing.
But you know this. That's why, if I'm coming into this situation knowing I'm here for a spiritual lesson, then I'm okay with waiting. If I'm here for the carnal, I'm gonna be angry as hell. This is about the lesson. And however long it takes, He is going to avenge you, and can I trust it? And can I trust He's going to avenge you His way? That is so important when we feel lost, when we're suffering, when we feel nobody cares, especially when we feel somebody's getting away with murder. Because each and every one of us has felt that before. Somebody is taking advantage of my kindness, my brotherhood, my sincerity, my love, my consideration. And you're just smiling at me, using me. Can I accept that I have an obligation to stay on point, do good, and allow the Most High to avenge me? And know that it will happen when He's going to do it? This is what battle we have to start embracing and dealing with the realities of what we're facing every day. So we're going to let that verse go. And we finish verse 8? We finish it? Read verse 8. Finish it.
Nevertheless, when the Son of Man cometh, shall He find faith on the earth?
I missed that. That was one of the best parts of the verse. So he says, nevertheless, when the Son of Man cometh, shall He find faith on earth. So what's Christ trying to ask? Listen, when He comes back, are people going to be able to wait? Are people waiting? Are people going to be waiting for the Most High to avenge them? Or are we going to take matters into our own hands? Or are we going to sit back here and start breaking the law because we're bitter and angry? The question that Christ has is, how many of us are going to be applying this concept when He gets back? How many of us are even trying to learn how to look at things and follow lessons that are spiritually edifying? How many of us are even trying to do that? He says, when He comes back, how many people are going to be trying to live this way? Not many. Not many people are here to try to find what's the Most High teaching. What's the spiritual lesson I'm going through in my battle? All I want to do is get retribution for the pain that was brought to me. We look at things carnally. So now we let that verse go and jump to Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse. It's a shame that this class online is probably acting stupid.
What verse up?
The internet's acting haywire. Right? Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 2 through 5. Whoever's listening out of the handful of people still listening, is the internet still crazy? Just want to ask. Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 2 through 5, and then I want to jump to verse 16 through 18.
Covered. Ready?
Not quite. Okay. Let me just change this up here.
It's been playing and then freezing.
Yeah, people gave up, bro. I get it.
It's stupid, huh?
Such a shaitan, man.
This is stupid, though.
Oh, you know, did you do? You know.
You gotta stop.
You know, I was told that, like, like hacker guys can do this. I can inject things because the internet's fine.
I don't think it's the hackers, bro.
The internet's fine. Anyway, whatever, bro. I'm not gonna worry about it. Let's do it. We're gonna teach you Shem's word, regardless. Deuteronomy 8 and 2. But let's know about hackers. Hackers is diabolical.
Maybe we need a. We gotta do a system update. He knows about them boys.
I ain't gonna say much.
I know. That's why I was laughing. There's an underbelly out there that's messing the whole world up out. But let's read Deuteronomy 8 and 2 out.
Meddling going on.
This is an underbelly out. Read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 8 verse 2 reads, "And thou shalt remember all the way which the Lord thy power led thee these 40 years in the wilderness."
This is a reminder. The Most High said we have to go. Things written aforetime, written for our learning. So once we made that choice to look at things in a spiritual lesson perspective, we can't forget that the Most High had us in the wilderness 40 years in place. Read on.
To humble thee.
Listen, everything that we're suffering in our life now is just like what the Jews went through in Egypt. If you're losing family, if you don't have a rib, if you have a husband that there's major disagreements in, the Most High is doing all these things in our life to humble us. And what is the humbling process meant to do? The humbling process is meant to get us to cleave to the Most High more and not cling to our own ways. Everything that we're losing, everything that is becoming an annoyance in our life, an aggravation, a challenge, a discomfort, was purposely created and manufactured to give you a chance to get closer to the Most High and humble you down, to start listening. But the problem is, when we go through problems, we want to take matters into our own hands and alleviate the situation versus accept the Most High is humbling us to teach us how to follow Him. Just like we got humbled in the wilderness. Read on.
To humble thee and to prove thee.
So a lot of times the Most High humbles us with these difficult situations, and He proves us to determine where our intentions are. Because how many times when we're going through faith challenges, we're going through suffering and inconveniences and pains and challenges, how easy is it for us to maintain righteous works when we're sad, when we're dejected, when we're losing things, when we're inconvenienced? Listen, all of us can sit back and read the hell out of Bible verses and smile in class when things are going good. When things aren't going good, how motivated are you? How enthusiastic are you in studying and coming to class and participating and reading and putting class together? Everybody puts class together like champs when they feel good. When you're sitting back here, you're beat up, you're taking losses, you have arguments at home, you're losing things, now all of a sudden I want to go to the bar and drink alcohol. All of a sudden studying and teaching and spiritual clarity is thrown out the door. This is the issue. The Most High is sitting back here trying to say, through these scenarios that are humbling us, He's trying to find out, He's trying to prove the kind of people we are. Are we fair weather students? Are we fair weather people? Or are we sitting back here about change, whether we're getting something out of the deal or not? This is how we learn to look at the lens of how the Most High wants us to look at it. So He's proving us, He's humbling us. Read on.
And to prove thee to know what was in thine heart,
Come on.
whether thou wouldest keep His commandments or not.
Come on.
And He humbled thee and suffered thee to hunger.
He suffered us to hunger. What does that mean?
Your source of substance was inconsistent.
Well, and you know what? You're going to lose something. That's the point. You are going to lose something. Listen, what it means is you can do everything right, and you can still lose.
Yeah.
How about them apples?
And that's the scary part.
That is how the Most High proves your heart. Israel is astonished, astonished. That's what I was about. They're astonished when they're doing good and they're still losing, and they still have to lose something. That's called purging.
Yeah, that's true.
The Most High purges things from you in order so you can grow more. How about that?
He purges That may bring forth more fruit.
So you can bring more fruit. But this is the mindset that you have to start digesting and accepting. So, because the thing is this, when for every, this is not a Bible verse, this is experience. For every negative thought, you got to have 10, 15 verses to neutralize it, man. How many of us have at least five, and we have 5 to 10 verses per negative emotion in our heart when we're going through things? We got an avalanche of negative thoughts. And we got like 2 verses to neutralize it. And we expect that to work. It doesn't work that way. But first things first, I have to understand the Most High will push you to the brink of losing bread, losing substance, losing things that make
matter.
you strong.
That matter to you.
That give you that means something to you.
Not the insignificant. Oh man, you know.
Yeah, I lost my shoes. It don't matter.
Watch,
I lost
man.
AirPods, B.
Yeah.
You know.
That's how you show me something. About me.
No, you're gonna lose things that matter.
Yeah, that matter.
And I gotta get up every day and still serve the Most High. Read on.
And suffered thee to hunger, and fed thee with manna, which thou wouldest, Salakia, which thou knewest not.
Mm-hmm.
Neither did thy fathers
Read
know.
verse 3 again from the top.
Come. And he humbled thee, and suffered thee to hunger, and fed thee with manna.
So listen, he hungered you. He said he suffered you to hunger, but he still sustains you. There are 2 things. You're going to lose, but he's still going to take care of
You
you.
weren't destroyed.
He's not. But see, a lot of times we tell ourselves we're losing our whole everything. He's taking things from you to see where your heart is at, but he's not completely breaking you.
It's like Job. Job lost sheep. Of course, he lost his family. When you read the rest of the story,
Yeah.
he lost a lot of property also.
Yeah.
People were jacking him.
Yeah. Land, property.
People were taking
animals.
from him.
Yeah.
It was people when people saw him weak. This is my time.
Yeah.
We're gonna come. Obviously, the Most High's not with him. We can take him.
Yeah.
So he said, war and changes have come upon me. So not only did he lose his wife and kids as by natural disasters, and then he lost lots of his wealth, and then he got physical sick conditions because his skin got bad. But then guess what? It said war and changes have come upon me. I mean, he had to go fight wars. He had to go fight. He couldn't just be sad. He couldn't just be sad. Oh, I lost.
He wanted to be sorry for himself.
Listen, you can be sorry you want. People still take what you. They're going to take it as long as they can take it.
God.
So you have to fight in your condition. So when changes and war come upon us, are we still in the position to fight? But how can you fight if you don't have a reason?
That, and he's reminding you, no matter what you're losing, what you're about to lose, he hasn't completely cut you off.
Come on.
That's the point. He suffered you to hunger, but he also fed you with manna. So then how hungry were you? What you were was inconvenienced.
Yeah.
You know, the scripture says we had enough food to sustain ourselves when we went and picked out that manna. You had breakfast, lunch, and dinner. What we didn't have was leeks, the onions, and the fish.
Familiar.
We didn't have those comforts. So you're going to lose comforts, but you're going to be sustained. Why is that important? We operate in a fatalistic mindset. The sky's falling, I've lost everything. Why get up in the morning? What am I doing this for? What's the point of life? You don't think people think that all the time? Why continue? That's the mindset we take. But these verses are reminders to stay in there. Keep fighting. Don't let these temporary losses break you.
Define you.
I'm still feeding you with manna. I'm still giving you what you need, even though you're inconvenienced right now. So you got to put together, you're being inconvenienced, but I'm still here, and I'm going to avenge you. I'm still going to avenge you. You got to hold tight and allow the Most High in this process to finish and come to fruition. Read on.
And fed thee with manna, which thou knewest not.
And that's a challenge. I'm going to sustain you in arenas where you're not normally used to being sustained. And that scares people. It scares people to be taken care of in ways you're not used to controlling. But he's telling you this is how he develops us. He develops us in arenas where we're not used to normally being developed. He comes through for you in ways you can't control. And for most of our people are slaves of routine, and we're control freaks. And when we're put in scenarios where we can't control every aspect of things, we retreat. He's telling you the very nature of being humble is being put in scenarios where you can't control it. That's what being humble is all about. Anyway, let's keep going, man.
Which thou knewest not, neither did thy fathers know, that he might make thee know that man doeth not live by bread only.
Man doesn't live by the things they can control only. That's what bread is, You're not going to live just off the ways you can control things. Read on.
But by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Lord doeth man live.
How many of us truly understand what living by the word is? You're in a situation you can't control. You don't know what's going to happen next. And you're living, your mindset, your stability is based off living day to day in this word. Trusting is going to work out. This is how you know you're in a spiritual battle. When you have to function day to day based off how well you're in this book. How well you stay powered up in these scriptures. And the purpose of humbling us is to remind you that you're not going to live by your routine and your control alone. You're going to have to live and thrive and prosper and sustain by what? How well I'm in this book. How well I read. How well I stay in the scriptures. How well I'm able to maintain my hope in these scriptures. And am I willing to submit myself to this type of lifestyle? Can I submit myself to following paths that edify like this? And then you couple it back with what Christ said in Luke 16:8. How many people are going to be having faith by the time I get back? How many people are going to choose this mental process by the time Christ comes back? This is what he's looking for. This is what he's asking. Okay, read on.
Verse 4. Thy raiment.
Listen. Just read to where you're clear. You don't got to go so hard to where you can't just flow through the reading.
Cover. Thy raiment wax not old upon thee.
So it's another reminder that even though you're suffering, even though we're losing, he's still there. The clothes of the Jews when they were walking for 40 years never wore out. Well, that's a miracle. Your clothes never get tattered and torn. Once again, what is the Most High showing us? And no matter how bad you might think your situation is, do you have the ability to sit back here and meditate on how the Most High daily loads you with benefits? How many of us, when we're in the middle of our battle, tell ourselves, the Most High is daily taking care of me? Do you count your blessings? Can you remind yourself how the Most High is still there with you, even though you feel like crap? All I'm trying to show y'all, whether it's online and here in class, spiritual coping mechanisms, spiritual ways to understand the Most High is still there for you, even though it doesn't feel like it. He's there. You got to trust he is. So, read on.
Thy raiment waxed not old upon thee, neither did thy foot swell these 40 years.
You walk a whole lot of time.
How did our foot swell? I didn't sit here and have you broke down like that.
God.
So you're walking. I got you. Obviously, I'm not caring about you at all. So you're walking in the desert and your foot is swollen. I'm just making you suffer because I want to make you suffer.
Because that's what people go into. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
The people that are supposed to be responsible for me, they don't care. My husband doesn't care. The brothers don't care. How many times people say that? People say it all the time. When you're in the middle, you're suffering. And when you say this person doesn't care, this man don't care, this sister don't care, you know what you're also saying? The brothers don't care. You're saying the Most High don't care. You're saying the Most High don't care. And you can't get caught up into that mode if you're going to expect the Most High to keep backing you. He's reminding us the raiment didn't get old, your feet didn't swell. So once again, do we have the capability to see how the Most High has been there for us, even in the midst of the bad problems? Moses has to sit back and remind the Jews of this situation. Hey, listen, man, while you're going through all this, he's still been there with you. Can we do that for us? I might have lost this, but he's still here for me in this. He's still looking for me in this situation. It could have been worse. I could have lost this too. We have to learn to train ourselves how to look at things spiritually if we expect to pull ourselves out of these ruts. It's either going to be this, it's going to be this hard, arduous work of finding the good, or you're going to be sitting back here, there's going to be alcohol bottles all in your room. What's your drink of choice? The clear, the light. Or is it going to be this Lone Star beers all around, bottles all around the house? What's that rancid rock gut crap? Which one do you want?
I've been there.
You want some Tennessee whiskey, man? You want some Tennessee drink? You want some Kvass? I guess kind of pricey. When you're drinking every day, you can't be going with the good shit.
No, you can't.
Listen, I'm saying real things.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I'm talking real damn talk.
Yeah.
You might look at some Christian brothers or something now. You said what?
St. Ives.
You said, oh God, that's brutal. They got that in San Antonio.
God.
St. Ives still. I'm talking about that Cali St. Ives stuff.
Well, no, but they got those little flavored ones.
That ain't nothing, bro. That ain't drinking.
That
ain't drinking, man.
Christian Brothers is straight up hardcore.
That's why I said it's hardcore. You gotta say like hardcore. I think that's like sub $20, bro.
Yeah,
I think it's sub $20 and it's rock gut. It's rock gut.
No,
And it's gonna knock you on your you know what.
Christian Brothers. That's might as well get some E&J.
I know.
It goes even harder than
Or you get some MD 2020. Listen, those are all bad experiences, Those are bad answers. I'm not advocating any of this. All I'm saying, listen, and if you're going to get MD, you better get the grape, because everything else is going to put you is a worse situation. I've seen like MD like lime. Who wants MD lime, MD strawberry? No. Those are even MD like watermelon. Who wants this bull, Listen, bro.
Blueberry got all the flavors.
You just go and you see these colors. I'm like, damn, I do not want to taste that lemon. That lime is gonna have you floored. It's gonna be a bad situation.
Hey,
anyway,
down the road with that, it's a bad situation coming.
There's a reason they call it Four Locos. The crazy's coming out of you when you drink too many of them things.
It's for crazy times.
So listen, all those liquors have a damn name, and it's listen. I remember Cali used to be the bull. I remember Schlitz. That was horrible. These are bad situations.
I was on that. When I lived in
that blue boy, that blue bull. It's bad. That Colt 45. How about that one?
I was drinking before I switched to Schneider.
You doing Colt boys just like last week, bro? Listen. I'm not trying to go into alcoholism right now. We've gotten here. I'm just trying to explain that we're trying to avoid alcoholism. That's why we're having a class about outlook and spirituality, Because when you're down, you don't want to go out. You want to drink at the house, and looking at four walls,
That's hilarious.
It's the truth, and that's when it's the worst. You're just guzzling drinks, every day.
We only giving heat to fables over here, guys.
The fables are in your head. Telling yourself nobody cares. There's not a Bible verse popping in your head. And you sit back here playing rap music and sad love songs. You're going left, You're bouncing. It starts off with some damn hardcore shit. Then it goes to Tevin Campbell. You're drinking and crying. You don't want to do this. Listen, you're going to all this R&B stuff. Being angry. All I'm trying to say is, we better find some spiritual ways to get through these blows. Because are they blows or are there spiritual edifying opportunities? What do you choose? If it's a blow, you're gonna be drinking. You better choose to look at it as a spiritual lesson the Most High's teaching. Patience, faith, perseverance, humility, discipline. What's the lesson? The quicker we choose that,
it's instruction for the next battle too.
well, that's the point. But what is the instruction? What's the lesson? What is the Most High teaching you? The quicker you choose that path, the easier it is to rehab. Or you sit back. I've seen brothers and sisters lose 5 or 10 years of their life being angry. Being bitter, being resentful. And you know what's crazy? The Most High is unyielding. Doesn't the Most High say, I take no pleasure in you pining away? You know what that means? I will sit back here and watch your ass pine away. I will watch you pine away. I don't like doing it, but I'm going to watch you do it. How about that? So if you want to burn off your 30s, burn the dirty 30s and be 40s again all of a sudden now you're in your 40s being angry. You're like, that's burn off a dime, bro. Being angry. That's a real damn thing. I'm not lying. So you better look at it in a spiritual light, or you're going to be 45 saying, I ain't going to be this old man no more. I'm going to change for the better. I'm like, damn, you couldn't do this shit 15 years ago?
Hey, you telling the truth. 10
I'm
years.
telling the truth. 10 years goes like this. It goes like this. Because you can get into a mode and just go through the motion, and it's autopilot for 10 years, bro. You can autopilot for 10 years and tell, oh, it's okay. I'm just being strong. It's all right. I ain't sweating nothing.
And turn into this person.
Yeah, and just being this bitter robot. I've seen people lose time. And then they'll say, man, you don't want to be like me. You don't want to, listen. Truth says you can do nothing against the truth or for the truth, right? So either you're going to be, your example of victory is going to be less to the people, or your example of 10 years of ineptitude is going to be an example to the people. You're going to be an example one way or the other. You're going to be an example of what to do, or you're going to be an example of what not to do. The choice is up to you.
Hey man, ain't y'all little young for that? Where y'all get that from?
He's a special guy. A special guy.
Yes, the choice is yours.
Choice is yours.
It's the choice is yours. Okay. So we get this right. Listen, I'm glad we're kind of lightening things up, but hey, man, we gotta take this serious.
That's right.
This is a serious topic, and what we're trying to show you, mental and spiritual strategy-wise, will save you time and can help get you back on the right spiritual track earlier than normal, earlier than later. Okay? And a lot of times, these moments can define the rest of your spiritual journey down the line. So we better sit back here and take advantage of these opportunities and choose to look at things in a spiritual light or suffer the consequences. Okay, what verse we at in Deuteronomy?
Verse 5.
Let's make sure. I just want it clean. I don't want it loud. I want it clean. Okay?
Good.
Let's keep going.
Thou shalt also consider in thine heart that as a man chasteneth his son, so the Lord thy power chasteneth thee.
He's even explaining it. Moses, like, you have to look at what you're going through the right way. Consider this in your heart, that the Most High is correcting you or developing you because He loves you. You have to see it that way. This edification is based off of love. This is what cleaving to the Most High is all about. You cleave. You learn how to get. Remember the scripture says the Most High is a what?
Consuming
fire. So if He's a consuming fire, I'm commanded to cleave to a consuming fire. So as I'm cleaving to a consuming fire, what's going to happen to me?
Gonna get burned.
I'm going to get burned. And I got to learn that the burn is what?
It's good. For purification purposes.
For the purification. That's the point. But psychologically, we can't accept that process. The burn, the loss is what you need in order to get close, to choose to get closer to him. You have to go through it. So he says, thou shalt also consider in thy mind that as a man chasteneth his son, so the Lord power chasteneth thee. He's chastening you to get you closer to him so you can grow.
For more strength and praise.
This is love. The pain, the loss, the grief is an opportunity to get closer to him. You're not alone like you tell yourself.
It's a circumstance for you to learn the Most High.
It's a temporary physical loneliness that you have to replace with spiritual camaraderie. All I can tell you is this is how you have to look at it if you're going to be at peace with your situation. Are you done with verse 5?
Verse 5.
I said, are you done with it?
Got
Yes. Give me verse 16.
Come. Verse 16. Who fed thee in the wilderness with manna, which thy fathers knew not, that he might humble thee, and that he might prove thee.
And this last part's the important part. We read all this earlier in verses 2 to 5. Read on.
To do thee good at thy latter end.
Everything you're suffering, everything you're losing, if you were doing things right, was meant for you, for the Most High to do you good at the latter end. This is how you have to look at it. The difficulties, the loss, whether the loss is real or the loss is anticipated. You're supposed to go through the difficulties, the inconveniences, the ups and downs with your husbands, the ups and downs with your wife, the loss of your wife, the possible loss of your children. All these things were meant to happen. So at the latter end, the Most High can do you good if you choose to look at the lesson and find the spiritual lesson in it. But you have to be on point, and you have to have the right spiritual outlook to get to the latter end to see that the intention was good from the start and that the intention was to build you up. But if you don't finish the process, if you don't work into the end to see it, you're not going to see the good. So from the time that you start the suffering to the end, the Most High is trying to see, am I cleaving to him? Until the Most High shows me without a shadow of a doubt he was trying to help me. Does that make sense?
Kind of.
The goal is to increase you at the latter end. Yes,
It just made me think, like, because it's like that process. You say you suffer through it, then you start to gain momentum. You start going through it, then you get to power through it to get to that finish. How you said.
But you power through it because you got to keep convincing yourself through scriptures, through counsel, through communication, that the Most High has always been there looking after you. Look at how he talked from 2 to 5. Thy raiment never waxed old, your feet never swole. So while I'm suffering, while I'm waiting, can I sit back here and go through a laundry list of examples how the Most High has always been there for me? Can I sit back here when I'm down, when I don't feel like being positive, when I don't feel like sitting back here and seeing the good in things? Can I choose to see the good in things, even though I don't feel like doing it? Because a lot of times when you're sad or you're down, you want to just be down. Right? You want to feel sorry for yourself. Even if I'm choosing to feel sorry for myself, then I'm choosing not to cleave to the Most High. Because he's saying, listen, man, cleave to me. I haven't let you down. Yes, you've been suffered to hunger, but I've given you manna. What does that mean? I've taken away the things you like, but I'm still providing you sustenance. Can you tell yourself this when you're down? You might have lost some things, but he didn't take everything. You might have lost some ribs, you might have lost some kids, but did you lose your family? Your family's here. So you didn't lose everything. Can you sit back here and accept these concepts? And if you can, this will weather you to the end. Then the Most High will show you what this really was about and what was the grand understanding through the whole process. But you got to put the work in while you're waiting to get to that end. People look at faith as just, it's a feeling. It's hard ass choices. You got to choose to have faith, day to day, minute to minute, week to week, hour to hour. Do you choose to see the lesson in it? Do you choose to see the Most High hasn't completely abandoned you? Do you choose to see that you might have lost these things, but you've maintained this? He hasn't completely abandoned you. Have you practiced looking at things that way? Or you just want to have hissy fits and be emotional and just be angry and pouty about what you've lost? You're showing the Most High where your character is based off how you fight these thoughts off.
It's an assessment.
He's looking at how well you wait. How are you waiting? Okay. Read verse 17.
Come, and thou say in thine heart, my power and the might of my hands have gotten me this wealth.
The crazy thing is this. That's why he has to humble us. Because we think that we're where we're at because of our abilities. We think it's our skill, it's our intelligence, it's our ability, it's our swag, whatever you want to call that shit. You think it's that got you where it's at. And you forget it's the Most High's grace that's giving you what you've got. It's the Most High's mercy that's giving you everything you've got. And sometimes we get too big for our britches. And he's got to remind you who you're serving. And if I touch you, you're going to sit back here and break down and completely break, or you're going to stay humble and serve me. Read on.
Come. Verse 18. But thou shalt remember thy Lord, the Lord thy power. For it is he that giveth thee power to get wealth.
He says, you have to remember the Most High. And he gives the power to get wealth, to get substance, to give you the things you need back. He will bring, if it's about losing children, he'll bring you your kids back. If it's about if you lost a family, he'll bring you the family back. But you know, it can't be about the family. It's got to be about the pursuit of the Most High.
About him.
It's got to be about the lesson. This is why the Most High, like now, I brought the example out. Solomon asked for wisdom to lead the people, and he rewarded them with everything else. Because his motives were pure towards the Most High. If I choose to go through what I'm going through to get the edification the Most High wants me to get, that means I'm sitting back here. Whatever I'm going through and I'm losing, what's the spiritual lesson? And can I be okay with learning the spiritual lesson? If I am, then he has no problem with giving me what I'm looking for, what I want in the flesh. Yes, sis?
So is it okay for us to hold on to the fact that he said he was not going to break the covenant with our forefathers and always be there for us? Can we at least use that to try to get over the hurdle? You understand what I'm saying? Like, because of the fact that he was always going to be our father, we were always going to be his people.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Can we use that as just something to be like, even though we're going through these battles, we can at least take comfort in the fact that he said this, and at some point he will get us through what we're going through.
Yes, that's another way to look at it.
We obviously have to put in the work.
Yes.
And we obviously have to work on ourselves. We're waiting to overcome this battle, but is that something that we can fall to as a way to keep the faith and be hopeful?
You know what? Man, yes. There was a scripture that, damn it. I was reading it and I wasn't sure if it was the best verse to pull in this class, because I didn't think the class, you never know exactly how the class kind of turns out. Things kind of like bounce a little bit, and
I know an interesting one where he was saying that he watches your foot. He, as his child, he watches your foot, which means he makes sure you don't fall into the enemy's hands.
No, there was a verse that kind of talked about when Christ dealt with the sinner, and if y'all can find the verse, it'll be great. Christ was dealing with a sinner and pretty much told the sinner who had palsy that their sins were forgiven. And then the Pharisees said that Christ blasphemed.
Matthew 9:2.
On the Sabbath.
For doing it, doing it on the Sabbath or something.
No, it wasn't that.
Sound kind of like Lazarus, but
Yeah, it's Matthew 9:2, sir. Matthew 9.
Maybe it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Read that. Read Matthew 9:1 and 2. We're gonna read down because it kind of goes on what you were saying, sis, about how to keep hope, how to stay. What are ways to stay positive, even though because even on the flip side, what ways to stay positive, even though you in the process of your experience you screwed up. How about when you screwed up and didn't do everything right? Because the angle I'm going is, if you've done everything right and you've lost, this is what you're supposed to hold on to. But what about when you haven't done everything right and you're being riddled with guilt and regret for mistakes you've made? So let's do Matthew 9 verse 1.
Matthew chapter 9 verse 1. And he entered into a ship and passed over, and came into his own city. And behold, they brought to him a man sick of the palsy, lying on a bed.
So why was this person sick of palsy?
probably his mind wasn't right. Well,
he was probably off.
Yeah.
He made some mistakes of being in this crappy condition. Right? Remember when the scripture, when a person was blind and the prophet said, what man sinned? Was it this dude or was his parents before him? So when you was getting banged on and you had psychological issues or you had leprosy, that was a youth thing, B. Sorry. But this was the thinking even the Pharisees had. But read on.
It said, and Yahushua, seeing their faith, said unto the sick of the palsy, Son, be of good cheer. Thy sins be forgiven
So
thee.
what is Christ giving this person? Hope. A lot of times we might have made mistakes and we screwed up and we can't get past the regret of making the mistakes, and we'll tell ourselves our life was over and ruined from here on out because of the mistakes we've done for X amount of years and X amount of time. So because this person was sick of palsy and lying on their bed, you know this person had been messing up for a long time and just couldn't get out the rut of sinning. So what ends up happening? What does Christ do? He says, man, thy sins be forgiven thee. Now, we can sit back and ask ourselves, what would be the relevance of telling a person that sinned this much that his sins are forgiven? What do you think it is?
Some hope.
It gives him hope. I said it already, didn't I? It gives the person hope to do what?
Better.
Keep fighting, not
Mm-hmm.
hope to change. Is that?
Couple of verses through that.
Hold it. I just want to finish this part, but hold it though. Read it.
Verse 3. And behold, certain of the scribes saith within themselves, This man blasphemeth.
Because these scribes are like, man, this dude's been doing dirt. That's why he got the palsy. This dude I saw this dude 3 weeks ago. He was tripping.
But they were only.
He was on that ripple.
But they were looking.
Oh, that bumpy face.
Bumpy face.
That's bad. That's bad stuff. Bumpy face is a problem. That's a problem. Anyway, I'm just throwing out drinks that I know are problems. Those are bad. That's bad. But anyway, keep going. There was one that was it Night Train?
Probably Cisco.
Cisco's Thunderbird. That was the one. Thunderbird's bad. Cisco's bad and Thunderbird's bad. I knew a brother that it was in San Antonio years ago. He would go and drink Thunderbird. He was gone.
Dropped the great Kool-Aid in there.
He was gone. No, it was straight, bro.
Yeah,
He was gone. Yes, Thunderbird's bad. Thunderbird's bad. Anyway, so these scribes are like, listen, man. Scribes are like, this guy's Christ is blaspheming because he's forgiven a person, and this person ain't changed. Now, what does Christ say?
Matthew chapter 9 verse 4. And Yahushua, knowing their thoughts, said, Wherefore think ye evil in your hearts?
So why are you looking at this situation as such a bad thing? Why is what I did for that brother so evil? Read on.
For whether is easier to say, thy sins be forgiven thee, or to say, arise and walk.
Which one's easier? It's easier to say your sins are forgiven, so he has the strength and motivation to change, so then him changing will allow him to walk. But you got to give the person hope to even give him a chance to sit back and try to fight again. And then if he fights and changes, then he'll start to walk again. Then he can be active and potent. But it's easier to sit back and give him hope than change the ailment. He say, I'm not going to change. You can't change the ailment when the man ain't put the work in to fix it. But you can give him hope to do it. And why is that such a wicked thing to give a person some hope?
It's not.
But this is where these carnal scribes couldn't see. Like some people need to know that it's going to be okay if they try. Some people, in the reality, what this is showing is some people tell themselves, I've dug this deep of a hole, I can't get out of it.
What's that fatalistic thinking?
It's fatalistic. It's that fear that you run into a ditch and a snare.
I have no other answers.
And I'm stuck. I'm just not going to get out of it. But Christ is like, listen, man, if I tell this person his sins are forgiven, at least this person has the hope to sit back and start changing his life. And if he changes his life, then he'll get healed.
Anyway.
So tearing a person down doesn't solve anything. Kicking a person when he's down doesn't solve anything. Give a person some hope to fight again.
I don't even think making him walk first would help him.
He needs the hope to fight his battle
without dealing with his heart.
As a man think it's so easy, because you know what it was showing you? There were things he was doing that made him stick and be in that palsy position. He was negative. There's no doubt about it. But Christ's like, I'm not gonna listen. What's easier to do? Give him some hope, or take this ailment that he's earned, obviously, off of him. It's easier to give him hope, because that's what we all need. Is what? We're prisoners of what?
Hope.
We're prisoners of hope.
That's right.
So you can't lose hope when you're down, when you're broken. You still got the Most High's with you. You just got to find something in you to stand up and fight. You got to find a reason to fight. And Christ just tried to give this man a reason to fight. You got to give yourself a reason to fight. What was the scripture you're going to pull?
Wisdom of Solomon 11 and verse 23.
Wisdom of Solomon 11 and 23. Read that.
Wisdom of Solomon 11 and verse 23. But thou hast mercy upon all, for thou can do all things.
So the Most High has mercy upon all people, for thou can doest all things. Read on.
And winkest at the sins of men, because they should amend.
Man. So he's telling you he can sit back and wink at the sins of men, because they should amend. So listen, he knows sometimes we go through struggles and can't get out of our ruts. And if he deems fit, he'll wink at it to give you a chance to fucking go make it right. Hell, we know that based off of what? The Day of Atonement.
Yeah.
He gives all of us a clean slate at getting things. That's a great verse. But he gives us a clean slate to make things right in the first place. But you know, this is where we get and where we have to also be when we feel down in the dumps and feel we can't get ourselves out of our situations. He's looking to amend us. He's looking to give us a chance. He can have mercy upon all of us. Even if we weren't perfect in our process. Listen, we still got to deal with judgment. But even through the judgment, the Most High is going to have mercy on us. Because that's how he's built. And that's what, does that make sense? That's a way to look at it? Because that's another way to kind of look at the situation. He'll sit back here and forgive you to give you a chance to go fight. That's what forgiveness is. That's what the whole New Testament was about. The whole New Testament was about letting us know that he's going to forgive us so that we will do what? Fight our battle. Not just to forgive so we can just be niggas again and be off. That makes sense? we're supposed to be forgiven to give us the hope to fight our battle and change. Because he knows that if we lose hope, we won't fight at all. That's why he did it. That opened a whole lot of things for me, man. Matthew 9, bro, that gave me a lot of clarity. He's telling us why he kept telling us that he's going to forgive our sins. He forgave our sins, so we'll have enough fight to keep pushing. That's why he says in Isaiah 40 about speaking comfortably to the multitude. Speak ye comfortably to Israel. Your warfare is over. I'm done whipping up on you. That has to be said to give us hope to fight. Not to create this BS religion where now you don't got to follow the law and change and make adjustments in your spirit. I'm letting you off the hook to give you a clear conscience.
So you can rebuild.
So you can fight again and start over again. And fight your battles that you didn't think you had it in you to fight in the first place.
And then as you go through your battles, you build and build and build, because just may fall 7 times, so you may not get it right the first time, but at least you have that hope that the Most High has come through for you, and
he's giving you a second chance. So if he's giving me a second chance, I can keep fighting and trying, and my life isn't over.
And you can take what you've learned and provide a testimony to somebody else to bring them hope.
This is all about fighting to give people hope and confidence to keep pushing forward. Yes, we sin. Yes, we get in the ruts. And yes, it's important to sit back here and correct and teach and do all that good stuff. But sometimes you got to give people hope that if they make the adjustment, well, the Most High is going to forgive you so you can make your adjustments and work on the side of you. That's what grace is. Grace is being given something that you didn't what? You didn't deserve, huh? So that you would do what?
Fight.
Earn it the next time. But that's why it says in Hebrews 10 and 26, if you sin willfully, after you've been given grace, there's no more sacrifice for sins. You see how it all makes sense? I'm giving you the grace. I'm forgiving you of these mistakes so you can change back up and get right. To get the hope to fight back. But if you keep going backwards, then you don't want to do it. I'm done with you then. But he's at least giving us chances.
No, because even 2 Peter 2 and 21 talks about if you continue to sin, go back to pollution of the earth.
Yeah.
It's better that you not known Christ in the first place. Waste of time.
And that's the whole point. That's the whole point. And also, let's go to Ecclesiastes in the Bible, 7 and 8. Joab's verse. I want to kind of get back on topic again.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 8. Whenever you're ready.
Give me a second. Let me type it in too. That Matthew's a monster, bro. That's a monster, bro. For me, at least, that makes a lot of sense to me. Why the hell things are the way it is? 7 and 8, right? Yeah, read that. And it's the day that the damn internet's being dumb, bro. Being that stupid, bro. Let me stop. It came from my heart, bro. It's stupid, bro.
Learned that in Miami. Learned that one in Miami.
No, in Guatemala. I had to sell oils in Spanish, and I was trying my butt off. And I was saying puro aceite, and I was saying all kind of Spanish words. And they looked at me like, he's trying. And they were smiling. It was a respect, because they knew I was really, I always have animated hands. I was like, puro aceite. I was doing all this hand motions and stuff. They were like, he's trying. In Guatemala, what's that? No, they wouldn't. I don't think they looked at it as stupid. I said, this guy's really trying. I was like, I'll buy an incense. And I was like, because that's what you was getting out there. The regular people, they like buy one incense out. So you're going ham for an incense out. And that's like a couple cents out. It's nothing. That's centavos, bro. In Guatemala, centavos. Anyway, I'm changing the subject. So read 7 and 8 real quick, guys.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 8. It says, better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof.
But it's better at the end than the beginning, but you got to fight your tail off to get to the end and get clarity. You have to really work hard mentally and spiritually to get to the end, to get the understanding. So yes, the end is better than the beginning. The end is also better than the middle. But you got to sit back here. But the lesson and the power is in how you deal with the middle. That's how you show the Most High how sincere of a servant you are. It's how mature you are. How long are your downs? There's going to be downs with all of us, but how long do these downs last? And can you keep strength during these difficult times? Anyway, read on.
And the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. The
patient in spirit has the ability to choose edification over anger. Patience versus pride. The proud person is angry, is the victim. The proud person is the victim. Why me? This situation isn't fair. Nobody cares. Nobody's looking at me. What I'm going through, nobody else is going. That's what Elijah said. I'm the only one to survive, Lord. Nobody else is as spiritual as me. Nobody cares. What's that?
Can I do verse 10 of what you're saying right now?
Yeah.
Verse 10. Say not thou, what is the cause that the former days were better than these?
And that's how we look at it. And that's how when you're sitting back here saying the former days are better than now, that means you officially have a negative ass spirit.
I was better off.
When you're sitting back here, that's what the Most High says, you can't put your hand to the plow looking back. That's what this is. You can't start the work and say, man, how things were in the past were better than now. That means you didn't get the understanding of the lesson in the past. And you're not getting the understanding of what you're going through now. That's what he's explaining. Read on.
It says, for thou dost not inquire wisely concerning this.
Exactly. Because we're not using wisdom. You're dealing with pride and emotion. Okay. Okay. So listen up. Jeremiah, we're going through the process of how to gain these gain that hope. We're going through it as we speak. Let's go now. We'll try to get at least 2 more points out of this. Let's go to Ecclesiasticus chapter 25, verse 12. And we're going to go to Ecclesiasticus chapter 34, verse 9 through 17. Let's do it.
Ecclesiastes chapter 25 and verse 12.
Now, I like going over this verse a lot because it really gives a lot of understanding of what we're supposed to do with cleaving to the Most High. But read Ecclesiastes 25 and 12.
Ecclesiastes 25 and 12. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of his love, and faith is the beginning of cleaving unto him.
Exactly. So all these experiences that the Most High is dealing with us on spiritual edification is the beginning of us learning how to cleave to him. You don't even know what cleaving to the Most High is until you're put in situations where you have to cleave into him. You don't even understand what having faith in the Most High is unless you're faced with loss. And I don't think people really understand that. You can't really understand what faith is just going through the motions in life in your secured house, at home, being comfortable, not taking any risk or not losing anything.
Smooth circumstance.
And just you want to be in comfortable situations. That's not how you gain faith. Everybody that makes the smart play and the easy play and doesn't sit back here and make spiritual decisions that might cause loss, you don't have faith. You know of faith. You have an academic idea of what faith is. A lot of us have an academic version of what faith is. Most of us don't understand what really having to cleave to the Most High really is until you suffer loss. And you learn now how to follow and serve and be in order while you've lost.
I think that's why a lot of people don't pray. Because when they pray for something, the Most High obviously is going to put you through the test. And it's not going to be the test 9 times out of 10 that you want.
Well, I'm going to say this. Sometimes people don't pray also because, well, what you're saying is right. Because, the problem is you're supposed to ask for the spiritual answer. Sometimes the spiritual answer is, I just have to learn how to be happy serving the Most High, not getting what I want. Listen, when people say you have to learn to love the Most High, that sounds real awesome. To love the Most High. But to love the Most High, that means you have to love what He loves. But a lot of times we're born loving things the Most High don't love. What if you were born a strong, independent woman? Intelligent, type A, well-driven, well-spoken, a go-getter. Got that can-do attitude. You do like this. Yeah, remember that picture of the women in World War II with the sleeves were like this? We can do it. Well, listen. Okay, you got all those things, and that's what you were born. But the Most High loves a silent, loving woman who serves her husband. So if I love God, guess what happens?
The devil's coming.
Listen, if I love the Most High, then that means how I'm built is opposite of how the Most High wants me to be. I have to let those things go. You say we love God, right? Everybody loves the Most High, right? Then if you love Him, then are you willing to give up that strong, independent nature and learn how to serve? But that's how I was made. Who cares? What's that got to do with the price of tea in China?
And
how you was born and how you was made. Everybody was made a certain way, and all of a sudden,
yeah, change it up.
I could have made bread in the world. I'm smart. I can do things. I'm giving a friend. I'm smart. I'm capable. I had college offers, and I could have did things. I could have been something. In the world, I could have did all that cool stuff. But you know what? What matters more? I have to love the Most High. What does the Most High want me to do? I gotta love things He loves. So regardless of my talents and my capabilities and my skill set, that don't mean nothing. Let that go and learn how to find skill sets and talents in this realm. And that's the point. Everybody got to give something up. Regardless of how you're built and what you are by nature. If you love the Most High, you let those skill sets go so you can learn skill sets in Christ.
But we still rescinding.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to rescind. We want to interject.
That's what being humble is.
Come.
I have to humbly let go of what my talents are in the world and gain talents in Christ. If I expect to get the Most High's attention, and this is a lot of times the Most High takes these things away from us to get our attention so we can produce more. Matter of fact, we might as well go there. St. John 15. We'll go back to Ecclesiasticus. (15 and 1 through 4). Didn't you say Ecclesiastes 34 something?
That's next.
The spirit has gone a different place, sir.
St. John chapter 15, verse 1.
Yep.
It says, I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman.
Christ is the vine, meaning the root. It's not talking about like one little stick vine. The vine is the tree. Christ is the tree. Read on.
He said, and my Father is the husbandman.
And the Most High is the one that's in charge of maintaining the tree. Read on.
Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, He taketh away.
Okay, read on.
And every branch that beareth fruit, He purgeth it, that it may bring forth more fruit.
This is another reason why sometimes the Most High removes obstacles and people and things away from us. He removes things away from us for those who are actually bearing fruit so that they can bear more fruit. So sometimes I have to lose things and appendages dead weight in my life so I can narrow in and zone in and be more productive for the Most High. Maybe that's the understanding of why the Most High is taking things away. Maybe the things I have, I'm too distracted with these things I have to get more done for the Most High. So in consciousness of us, He sees we're productive, but as we know, Christ always wants usury. He wants more out of us. So in order to get more out of us, He has to remove aspects away from us to get more out of us. So that is a real good reason why I might or you might be in the circumstance that you're in. This is why it's so important to keep digging and reading and studying so you can get clarity about your circumstance. But the Most High will take people, distractions, things away from you so you can be more productive to do His work.
So you can lock in to the Spirit.
So you can do more. Because maybe these things around you is taking your focus and your potency away from pleasing Him. Is not the Most High in Christ a jealous power?
Exactly.
And if He's jealous and He sees you're messing around too much with the things He's given you, He might take them away until you show your focus is 100% on Him.
No matter what.
No matter what.
And the other things, they can go. They can stay or they can go. But my focus is going to be here. Period.
And this is why the Most High said in Deuteronomy 8, everything that we go through is to prove us, to prove our heart. Am I only here because of what I'm getting out the deal? Or am I here whether I lose or gain something? Why am I here? What's my purpose here? Why does the Most High have me in my situation? Read on.
Verse 3. St. John 15:3. Now ye are clean through the word which I have spoken unto
Yeah,
you.
you're clean to the word, meaning what? The experience that you're going through, if you dig in the scriptures, it will help you clean your mind and your outlook and see what's really happening. You won't be fixated on the loss or the distraction. You'll actually get the scripture, get the spiritual solution, and now your mind is clear. And you understand exactly why you're at where you're at.
To be clean is the acceptance.
Yeah.
You accept the word. You accept the conditions of your battle. Read on.
Abide in me as I in you.
So, you know what the Most High is trying to say? You know what the process of purging these different elements from the branches? It's about you truly becoming a part of the tree versus you being just this exterior part of this tree. He says, abide in me and I in you. You know what all this purging means? You got to be about this tree. You got to be about this work. And if things around you are keeping you from being about this work, I'm going to pull it away so you can abide in me with more potency. It's always about, He wants more out of us.
That's how it happened. That's what happened with Ishmael. Ishmael didn't necessarily have to go, but he was acting up and flipping out and being causing trouble.
And the woman was, Hagar was.
Hagar was tripping. She's arguing with the wife. I'm like,
you're getting out of the way of progress. And listen, don't forget, Isaac was a pure soul. Remember, he had a great countenance, and his outlook was impeccable, and how he was about to get killed. Isaac said, man, I will gladly take this deal. I'll gladly die. Maybe that outlook would have been twisted if Ishmael was beating him up and cutting his ear and doing dirty dog shit because he was an older brother.
Your mother's older.
And the mother was giving him bad food and starving him. You know, there was so many different bad, you know what I mean? You know, the wicked stepmother was around and she was being cruel to Isaac.
Hell no.
Maybe his outlook would have been negative.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pull these negative things away from this son.
This variable.
So he can grow pure.
We're gonna remove this variable so this situation is still pure.
Yeah.
And maintains abiding, the ability to maintain that Christ-like spiritual mindset for a long period of time.
So Hagar don't sit back and show Isaac some bullshit gods.
Idols and shit.
This is the moon god, the sun, moon, and the stars.
What
Don't tell your dad.
What's Hagar from? Wasn't she an Egyptian?
No, yes, she's an Egyptian handmaid.
Yeah.
She could have brought all kind of negative to him.
And then her son gonna abide to wherever she's into.
That's my point.
So like you're mixing influences.
I know
so the
this.
answer is okay. Listen, man, we've had enough.
Yeah.
It's time to step.
It was kind of right. I'm gonna eat some bread and a cruise of water.
And go into the
desert.
The outer world.
Go to the desert. That was a different time, bro.
That's a whole lot.
Listen, how long did bread last back in those days? How many meals can you get? When I hear of bread, I'm like, is it like that French bread act? Is it like what big piece? Was it like this real hearty French bread that you're munching on for like 3 days that you gotta chew forever before they get digested? You know, French bread is light, but I'm talking about that real hearty, like this. Yeah. You chew it for like 30 chews like per bite.
Turn your crouton back.
No, listen, I don't know if you had like that spelt kind of bread act. Yep. Spelt is like you're just chewing like a goddamn horse and hay act. When you eat spelt, you're like
in Germany they call it brosia.
Brosia, spelt, Ezekiel bread. You chewing forever out. Like, yeah, I'm eating healthy, y'all. Your jaws are hurting. Then don't put no like almond butter in there and all the other stuff. It's like double chewing that. I'm serious. I've done it. I'm like, why are my jaws hurting so much eating a damn peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
Yeah, it's right here.
I know. It's like hard, chunky bread. Anyway, let's get back on point. That's me. Continue.
Matthew chapter 15 and verse 4. Abide in me, and I in you.
Yes.
As the branch cannot bear fruit of itself, except it abide in the vine.
And this is the point. He has to sit back and purge all these outside elements so the branch can properly connect and properly be a part of the root of the tree. This is what the whole thing is. And this is what the Most High is expecting us.
So you can invest deeper.
And that's the point. And dig in more to the root.
Even in companies, you go through your initial orientation, or you're part of the company. Okay, you're part of the company at initial levels.
Yep.
Okay, you're part of the company at this initial level, and you get the benefits at this initial level. If you want management, if you want to have a 20-year run, you got to give up more things to be really ingratiated into the company.
Got it.
Most High's no different.
Yep, you got to give more.
You got to lose something to ingratiate yourself and connect deeper to what he's about, which is the abiding.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So it says, no more can ye, except ye abide in me.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 5.
And your situation is going to force you to abide.
Got
It's the only way to survive.
No.
You're not going to survive if you can't abide.
Exactly. And the purging and the taking away is so that you can be more focused to abide in the vine, which is Christ. And this is why we lose things. That's why we get hit. So we can be more effective and more committed to serving Him. We're going to let that go and go back to Ecclesiasticus 25 and verse 12. And then we're going to do Ecclesiasticus, I said 34 earlier, right? 34.
9 through 17.
Uh-huh. And I think we'll shut it down after that because it's getting late. But I want to at least get those two chapters in. Ecclesiasticus 25.
And verse 12.
Yes, sir.
The fear of the Lord is the beginning of his love, and faith is the beginning of cleaving unto him.
And that's the point. You're going to cleave to the Most High during times of loss, during times of difficulty. And so these difficult times are necessary to even learn how to get closer to the Heavenly Father. You don't really understand how to please Him outside of an academic nature unless you're facing loss. And then once you face loss and you experience it and you weather through it, and you get through it, the Bible's real. And then when you get through the end of it, when you get to the end of a thing, is when you really understand the Most High. We have a greater understanding.
You have a testimony that you can always replicate.
And that's the testimony is where you're teaching, man. That's what you really teach. The experiences is what you teach, and that's what this next chapter goes into. Purpose, a perfect segue. Because without experiences, what the hell are you as a teacher or a Bible student without your experiences? Let's do Ecclesiasticus 34 and verse 9. This chapter really goes into the experience thing because that's really what we deal with. That's what you're supposed to have if you're going to be a legitimate teacher. Read that.
Ecclesiastes 34 and verse 9. A man that have traveled knoweth many things, and he that have much experience will declare wisdom.
So the Most High is telling you a person that travels and has many experiences will declare wisdom. Now you don't got to go from city to city, from London to Tokyo and Japan. That's a damn stupid song by this guy. But you don't got to go to all those different places to get experience, to get wisdom. So you can travel. When this is a man that travels, it's a man that sat back here and fought battles, experienced issues, suffered loss. That person will declare wisdom. Read on.
He that hath no experience knoweth little.
Listen, if you ain't lost nothing, you ain't got nothing to say. Everything you're saying is academic. Read on.
But he that have traveled is full of prudence.
He that's traveled, he that's lost, he that's suffered, that person is full of prudence and understanding. Read on. So once again, these first two verses are reminders you got to lose and walk through it in order for your words to actually stick. In order for your information and your teaching to actually have an effect. You got to go through things. And you can't run from the loss. You can't run from the battle if you expect the Most High to honor you.
That's prosperity teaching, bro.
And if you expect your words to penetrate and touch people. So once again, it's another reason to understand why going through what you're going through is so important. Because without what you're losing, without what you're going through, how can you teach your people? How will your words have any meaning? Everybody says they want to teach the Bible. You got to study your ass off. You better have some experiences. It's the combination that makes your teaching pop. Read on.
When I traveled,
Teaching or counseling pop. Read on.
When I traveled, I saw many things, and I understand more than I can express.
He says, when I travel, when I experience things, I saw many things and understand more than I can even express. Until the situation presents itself that reminds me of what I went through.
Like, oh, I remember that.
Yeah, this is what you do.
Oh, this.
Exactly.
Come.
Read on.
I was oftentimes in danger of death.
I was oftentimes in danger of death. Meaning I was oftentimes in danger of losing. That is what experience gets you to. That's what depth comes from. Depth experience comes from danger of death, danger of losing, suffering,
and
challenges,
and losing.
How do you think, listen, David's greatest Psalms came from when he was in a damn cave. When Saul was trying to kill him. That was David at his zenith. You think David was saying a bunch of Psalms when he had like robes on, looking at Bathsheba, bathing at? He wasn't making Psalms then, because he was in a comfortable place. His Psalms came from his suffering, and the loss. That's when the word means something. That's when the teaching means something. So don't be so quick to run from the battle. Understand these issues are necessary. These lessons are necessary. Read on.
Yet I was delivered because of these things.
Exactly. Most High delivered him from these dangers. Read on.
The spirit of those that fear the Most High shall live.
The spirit of those that fear the Most High shall live. He says he was delivered from these dangerous situations. He was delivered from these scenarios of loss because of this. And what this was the spirit of those that fear the Most High shall live. So when you're sitting back here, if you want to get through these battles and these losses, you better fear the Most High. You better cleave to the Most High.
You better make it about the Most High.
You better make the lesson about the Most High. You better choose the path of the edification. What's the edification the Most High is trying to give me in my circumstance? Is where we started in Romans 14 and 19. Follow the path of edification.
Because people think fear is, I'm just afraid. No, bro. Fear means anything you're afraid of, you think about all the time. I don't care about this. If you're afraid of something, it always pops in your mind. It's always there, and you never forget it. Oh, it could be a spider over there.
Yeah.
There probably is a spider over there. Because if there's not, I'm going to watch just in case there's a spider over there.
Spiders, possums, whatever it is. I am not messing with possums.
Whatever.
Spiders, I'm okay. Snakes, I'm okay. No possums. Spiders is nothing for me.
Yeah.
Spiders.
No, I like spiders. I'm just saying that whatever a person's real fear is.
I know.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I know. I'm okay with spiders and snakes. Just don't bring possums out and rats. Those are problems. Possums and rats are problems,
Yeah.
We keep going at.
But you never forget your fears. Yeah. So the way you never forget your fears, you should never forget to concentrate and be watching for the Most High. It should be ever present in your mind.
Even when you're losing. And the only way you get through these dangerous situations that build character, that build your ability to teach, that build the experience necessary to actually grow, is by having the fear of the Most High.
Yeah.
And your fear of the Most High has to supersede your fear of loss. Let's continue.
Or live in fables, bro. Live in fables, bro.
Yeah. And lose. Yeah. You're going to lose anyway.
You're going to lose anyway.
There you go. That's what I'm saying. If you're going to lose one way or the other,
you're going to lose the right way.
Let me lose and get some spiritual understanding, then double lose, and not getting on it to be better about why I lost in the first place.
Double lose.
If I'm going to lose, let me get the spiritual understanding,
Yeah.
That's how you fear the Lord.
Double losing is the worst, bro.
Because listen, if I lose and I got to understand, now I got a lesson. I got a class. I got something to give people. Versus I'm losing and I'm angry behind my loss. Well, you just took a double loss, bro. You can't get nobody through what you just went through because you're still angry about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's keep going.
God, for their hope is in him that saveth them. Whoso feareth the Most High. So
it forces you once again to put your hope in Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Not yourself.
Con?
Read.
Whoso feareth the Most High shall not fear nor be afraid.
Con. If you fear the Most High, then the only thing you fear is letting him down.
More than what you're going to lose in the tangible flesh.
That's the point. You're not going to worry about what you lose in the flesh if you're concerned about losing the Most High's love and approval. Yeah. And the only way you'll lose the Most High's approval is if you're not looking for the understanding he's trying to give you. Read on.
For he is
what verse
his
are we
hope.
at? For he is his hope. Read on.
Ecclesiastes 34 and now verse 15. Blessed is the soul of him that feareth the Most High. To whom doth he look? Or who is his strength?
Mm-hmm. Listen, he says, blessed is the spirit that fears the Most High. To whom doth he look? And who is his strength? So when you're down, you better be in that book. The Most High is looking at how you deal with your loss.
You don't stop
When
studying.
you're down, are you studying? When you feel low, are you studying? When you feel alone, are you studying? What are you doing when you're down? That's how you show who you love.
You can't just study when deals are closing.
God,
you can't just study when cars
when things are good.
Yeah. Everybody's smiling and cake is outside. This cake is fried chicken. Everything's good.
Is it the cake is after the fried chicken?
Yeah, that's a real good day, cake and chicken.
The sky is beautiful.
The chicken got to go first. I can get the chicken in me first. Then we get the cake.
Yeah. I'm just saying we want to be spiritual only on our set of circumstances. When the circumstances befit me, then I'll be spiritual. That is that service through convenience type stuff.
Yeah. You're right.
The true service of the Lord is service during inconvenience.
That's right.
That's the real service of the Lord.
Yeah.
We serve the Most High.
And that's how I show I fear him. Because I'm going to serve him whether things work for me or not. Whether I've lost or not. This is what he's trying to see. He's trying to prove your heart, like we read in Deuteronomy chapter 8.
Yeah.
Let's continue.
And so,
I'm sorry.
No, the Most High is just like this. Listen, you can serve me for convenience, and I'm gonna serve God because I know God won't let me be out there suffering and losing stuff too bad.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna do this God thing. It's gonna work out. It's gonna give me good things because I keep the commandments. That sounds real nice when you're like 9 years old through 13, bro.
Yeah.
When you're a grown man, grown woman, bro, listen, you don't serve God because you're gonna serve God.
Yeah.
No matter what you get or don't get. You might get what you want. You might not get what you want. You might lose what you got, what you already have, and then get it back. But you might get it back and not want it no more because it took too damn long to get it come back.
The problem is this.
How about that?
The point is, you gotta want to do this because you want to learn lessons to teach. Listen, you gotta be in this to get the spiritual lesson, right?
Yeah.
And he's gonna stretch out whatever you want in your heart until what's in your heart is that you value the spiritual lesson. The only thing that matters in this work as a teacher and a leader is how many lessons can I teach my people? What else matters? The truth in its purest form is I need to sit back and learn as many lessons as I can. I need to go through as many things as I can so that the student has as much ammo and spiritual solutions to fight their battle as possible.
Because then that make your classes even more potent.
Because that's all that matters is potent classes. What else matters? Looking good, having fancy garments on? Looking like you're spiritual? Shalom, everybody. I'm going to give you all the Hebrew in the world. That don't matter, bro. Only thing that matters is lessons, strength, and can I show you strength? Can I give you lessons? Can I be an example for you? Nothing else matters,
And
bro.
the scripture said that. The Bible says there's no balm in Gilead.
Yeah.
You said, damn, who's supposed to give the balm? Says the daughter of my people.
But the balm comes from a bunch of cuts.
Yeah.
You ever see those like Bakis idols do that fight wars and battles all them day long? They're all battle scarred. They got cuts and bruises.
Yeah.
That's us in the spirit. You got to keep getting cut and bruised in the spirit and spiritually overcome it and give that solution to people.
They have medicine for the people.
That's all that matters. But can you accept that's the dynamic and process that he wants us all to go through?
This is your life.
And that's what fear the Lord is. No, that's a scary proposition. But that's it.
That is scary.
Can you deal with the cuts and bruises and grow and see the Most High come through after it?
I mean, this life, this life is a vain life anyway. Our life is like based on just collecting things. Right?
The only thing that matters is either you're going to collect things in the carnal, or you're going to collect spiritual solutions. What the hell are you going to collect? You're going to collect spiritual lessons or carnal things and trinkets and stuff.
You can be a trinket chaser out, or you just sit here and collect something of substance out.
That you can give to somebody. That's the truth in its purest form. Let's keep going though.
Ecclesiastes 34, verse 16.
That was a tough one to hear, bro. But keep reading.
Ecclesiastes 34, verse 16. For the eyes of the Most High upon them that love him. He is their mighty protection and strong stay.
The Most High starts to look after you if you accept your life is a life of service. That's how you know for a fact he's your protection. The reason that there is doubt, because there's ulterior motives in the heart. If there's no ulterior motives, there's nothing to fear. He's your protection.
Because you might not get what you want. That's why there's doubt.
But
ain't no devil's gonna get what he want.
Listen, the crazy thing is, if you listen, most of us he gives to all men liberally.
Yeah.
What's he give? What's the liberal thing he gives?
His spirit.
Wisdom.
Yeah.
Understanding. So listen, you can get lessons on tap. How many lessons you want?
I'm scared I'm not gonna get.
You want to learn about discipline? You want the discipline's on tap. This is what you got to do to get discipline. You want to get understanding? You want to learn about long suffering? This is the long suffering beer tap. It's on. It's on. You want some beer? You want some long suffering beer?
No.
How about you want patience? You want patience? You want to learn how to wait?
I want that blessing.
You get this all day long.
Yeah, blessing over there.
The blessing is in patience. The blessing is in long suffering. The blessing, you want that humility? Alcohol? It's right here, right?
I think it's the quickest gift he'll ever give you.
He says he gives to all men liberally.
You ask for
You want spiritual
right
gifts?
there.
No. I want a rib. Oh shit, I don't know how to tell you, bro. Listen, I'm here to give you wisdom, knowledge, understanding, discipline, humility, order, mercy. That's what's here. This is the shop of mercy and lessons and discipline. Then what are we here for? I'm here to front so I get what I really want. What is this? This every day we're teaching how to get these spiritual lessons. Right? That's what we teach. We ain't, I'm gonna put you up on game. This is what you say to her. This is what you gotta do, and you gotta. We're as never been in class ever. We said, listen, bro, she might not last. So if she doesn't, you have to be a good example to her as an Israelite man and have more of these lessons and spiritual things in yourself so you're justified with whatever happens. Is that not what we teach? So verse 16 is letting us know what? The eyes of the Most High are upon them that love him. You love him by embracing the lessons he has to offer you. Then it said what? He is their mighty protection and strong stay. He's going to protect you because you value what he has to offer.
You value all his products, huh?
So if you value his products, you'll be okay. But you want other things out of the deal. I wonder why you don't feel confident in his protection. Listen, let's keep going, huh?
God.
I'm feeling so certain right now.
I know. Right on.
A defense from heat.
He's a defense. The Most High is a defense from the heat, from the affliction. Because you know what? While I'm in affliction, the defense is I know what the Most High is teaching me through this situation. So I can patiently wait through this heat, through these challenges, because I know the Most High is going to give me something spiritual to hold on to build onto my spirit, to make me a more well-rounded teacher and leader. Read on.
And a cover from the sun at noon.
Con?
A preservation from stumbling. And a help from falling.
He's all these things if you embrace what he's trying to give you. Read on.
He raiseth up the soul and lighteneth the eye.
He gives you the understanding you really need to see.
Exactly. If you want the understanding he has to offer.
If you want, though.
And that's the point. But the problem is we're so focused on what we're losing in the carnal, we can't see what the lesson is in the spirit. To lighten our eyes, to give us clarity, to give us understanding. So we're not walking around with this dark cloud under us. Read on.
He giveth health, life, and blessings.
And that's it. we have a lot more. We might double up next week, bro, but that's a good start. Are there any questions? All right, y'all. Listen, Tawada for those who hung in there. I know those crazy internet demons, man, but Tawada for tuning in, and hopefully it's not acting crazy on Wednesday. Hopefully, somebody on when you guys go, Zoom was on, but I was gonna say is tomorrow or if you guys go and check it out, let me know in the comment section if the recording was choppy. Maybe the chopping was just on the live feed. Maybe it's cleaner when it goes back. I don't know. Hopefully. But talk to y'all soon. Tawada. See y'all on Wednesday. Shalom.